Okay, so this revelation from the daily scrum has posed us with a bit of an issue, a common issue that can occur. As you start working in the scrum, you might find that different tasks need to be added. The developers, remember, completely own the sprint backlog. So in this case, Amy, as a developer, has decided that there is something else that she can get done in light of one of the tasks that she needs to do being dependent on the outcome of this meeting. So that task was to get on with collecting the branding information, and that's going to help her to be able to design the wireframes and the website better. So this has become something that's quite important. Now, I want to take you to the Scrum guide here. So I just want to point you to a few important points. During the sprint, no changes are made that would endanger the sprint goal, and scope may be clarified and renegotiated with the product owner as more is learned. Well, we've learned a bit more, so let's go back to the product owner and negotiate and clarify the scope of this sprint. So what Amy's going to do is she's going to go back to the product owner and say to Becky, there's a ticket in the product backlog about getting the company branding rules. Now, I think this is something that I need in order to get going with the wireframe. And because I have a dependency on the outcome of the meeting for the contact form, I now have some capacity today to pick this ticket up. Now, what that also means is she initially planned to get on with the wireframes today. So that might mean that she doesn't have the capacity to pick up both the branding rules and the wireframes for the contact page or form within this same sprint. So this needs some careful consideration. Now, firstly, the product owner, Becky, has decided, yes, that's fine. I think getting the company branding rules, especially at the early stages of the project, actually is quite important. So Becky, as the product owner, is going to prioritize that particular ticket. Now, she's also going to do some backlog refinement and make sure that that ticket is ready to be brought into the sprint. Now, as it is, we have our user stories and our definition of done. That might need some more thinking about. And if Becky has a capacity as the product owner, she can try to refine this ticket a bit more so that it's ready to be pulled into the sprint backlog for Amy to pick up. Now, the product owner shouldn't be placing backlog items into the sprint backlog during the sprint. Just to be clear, the developers at the Daily Scrum have decided that a particular ticket is important to meet the sprint goal. And they are the ones who own the sprint backlog, and they're the ones who understand their capacity. And if they're telling the product owner that they have capacity to pick it up, and the product owner is happy that that is something that is of high value, and together as a Scrum team, they decide that this ticket is crucial to meeting the sprint goal, and by bringing it into the sprint, it is not going to affect the sprint goal, then I think we're okay to bring it into the sprint. So Amy has negotiated with Becky, the product owner, to take this ticket into the sprint. So what she's going to do is she's going to assign herself to it. And then she's going to think about the tasks that she needs to do in order to get these branding rules together. And then when she's done that, she's going to start working on it and move it into progress. Now, there is a danger here that picking up another ticket means that Amy is going to have less capacity in this sprint to get the other tasks done that she needs to get done. So she can negotiate with the product owner, keeping the sprint goal in mind, if there's anything in here that, in light of the information they've got as they've been working through it, perhaps isn't as crucial as they first thought. So some negotiation around capacity and what needs to be done in order to meet the sprint goal. The main point I want to make is that sometimes as you're working, you realize that other things come up and you need to adapt and adjust to this. And also, it's really important to keep the sprint goal in mind and make sure that whatever you do in the sprint in terms of work, that you don't endanger delivering the sprint goal. And the final thing is that the developers have to be comfortable with taking on different work tasks. They're the ones who are managing the sprint backlog, and they're the ones who are in charge of their capacity and delivering to the sprint goal.